Hey guys, welcome back. We're back outside today, and today I'm coming to you with a quick video of me doing some fall cleanup. The reason why this is a nice and quick video is because as I've been learning more and more about how I can garden in ways that are more beneficial for the environment around me, I've learned that it's actually better to do minimal fall cleanup. So I don't clean up all of the fallen leaves, all of the leaf debris, and I don't cut back the majority of my plants until late spring. The reason is the plants themselves, as well as the insects, actually need a lot of this leaf debris and the plants throughout the winter for a couple of reasons. So the leaf debris that you see me raking up here, I actually end up redistributing these in the garden beds themselves. The leaves act as a natural mulch and will keep the soil warmer throughout the winter and will also help it retain some moisture. And then eventually the leaves will break down and become compost, therefore enriching the soil. A lot of insects will also use the leaf debris as part of their life cycle. So some of them might nest in there, overwinter in the leaf debris. Some of them lay eggs in the leaf debris. I actually think one of the things I've read previously is leaving leaf debris around your yard, even if it's just in a corner or underneath a tree, is really beneficial for fireflies in particular. I know there's been a lot of talk about how there's fewer fireflies around than a lot of us are used to from when we were kids, and one of the ways we can help the fireflies is to keep some leaf debris in the yard. Doesn't have to be all over your lawn, but like I said, it could be in the corner or under a tree. So you see me doing that. I move some of the leaves onto the new trees that I planted as well as into the different garden beds. The other thing that I don't do until late spring is I don't really cut back most of my plants. There's not much that I would cut back here in the front yard. This is more applicable for the backyard and the side garden path. But I leave up the stems of the plants of most of the perennials because there are some insects that will again either lay their eggs or will overwinter in those hollow stems. And then there's some plants like Echinacea, for example, that have seed heads that different insects and birds can use as food over winter. So I don't really do any cutback until late spring when some of these insects have hopefully emerged. Now, what you see me doing here is going over the leaves with the lawnmower, because what I realized as I was trying to put these leaves in the garden bed is, from my experience, they do better and break down better if you cut them up. And one of the ways I've heard to do that is with the lawnmower so that they'll break down faster and become compost faster. If you leave the leaves whole, it will happen eventually, but it's typically a little slower than humans are typically have the patience for. So I chop some up and then I put them in this front garden bed here. This was actually a fun project for me on this day. It was a little bit windy, a little bit blustery, but it was a nice day outside and it reminded me again of how much I actually really do enjoy being outside. It really helped lift my mood. You guys can see that it's pretty sunny even though it was windy, so it did feel pretty good to be outside. This was a funny project to me though, because it's one of those things where I realize again, this is not a complicated thing that I was doing, but I have no skills in this. This is not something that I grew up doing. I wasn't someone who was outside taking care of the lawn. So I understand the mechanics behind it, but my movements are not efficient whatsoever. And raking leaves is a little bit of a maddening process. As I was doing this, I kept thinking the people who do this professionally, who do this for a living, do they actually get up every single leaf every time they do this? Because that to me seemed to be an impossible task. It felt as if, as I was raking up the leaves, more and more were falling down to the ground, and I just, it probably is just me. I was just not efficient at this at all whatsoever, but I definitely had a good time doing it. Since I'm going to continue to do it throughout the fall, hopefully I'll become a little bit more efficient in my movements, particularly with the leaf blower, but we'll see. It also helps that because I'm not really that concerned with getting up all of the leaves, it didn't bother me too much that you guys will see there's definitely still leaves on the ground. But my main focus was on getting the leaves off of the hardscape and the sidewalk and just raking it up somewhat because, as I already stated, the leaves are actually good for the soil ultimately, so I really wasn't making myself too crazy trying to rake up all of the leaves. So that's it for this video, guys. Off camera, after I finished cleaning up the leaves in the front yard, I cleared the side pathway in the backyard, and then I also worked on some of the compost. I had to empty out some bins, and I added some of the leaf debris to my compost bins as well. And then the only other thing I did on this day was start to transition the fiddle leaf fig and the monstera plants that you saw on the front porch. They spent the summer outside, but now the weather is getting cool, so it's time to transition them back inside. So thanks for coming along with me, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you do fall cleanup or if you've also transitioned into a more spring cleanup schedule. But either way, as always, I hope you get a chance to get outside and enjoy your garden. Until next time, guys. Bye.